richest friend. When you treat me like as if I'm a one night stand. When you know my heart's love for you run real deep. When you keep the love I desire far from me. Yeah. You expect much more than you're willing to give. People say I'm crazy, not willing to admit it.
Hello, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Street Therapy. I'm Tyra Jackson, your host, and today's special guest is Kenedee Devoe, author of her new book, Two Wrongs Don't Make It Right, It Makes Us Even. I love this book. Hi, Kenedee. How are you?
Hi, Tyra. I'm fine. How are you?
Good. I'm so glad that you can come on the show. For those of you who don't know, I met her on Facebook. And through Facebook, we started communicating back and forth, and I asked her if she can come on and be on our show since I saw her book. So could you give us a little bit of a background of how'd you get started, where you're from, your education?
Sure. I am from Carson, California. That's where I grew up at. I have an associate's degree in early childhood studies. I also have a bachelor's degree in business management, and I have a master's degree in human services.
Okay, got more degrees than a thermometer. Thermometer. Okay, so how did you get into writing?
Well, I used to be on my school newspaper when I was in high school, so I was the editor. And I liked writing back then, and I kind of got deterred from writing when someone came to our career day and said, "What do you want to be?" And I said, "A journalist." And they was like, "Oh, no, there's no black people in journalism." And I was like, "Oh, well, I think I better do something else." So I started, into another career field, but I still love to write. So that's how I ended up writing a book.
Okay. Now, I like to write too, so later on after the show, girl, we're going to have to talk and connect, because I have to pick your brain on how you wrote your book. So when you wrote the book, did you want to talk about what was going on in your relationship, or was this something like an outlet you just wanted to get, it off your mind?
It was a little bit of both. I had just came out of on and off again, 11 and a half year relationship. And I kind of went to therapy for it. And so the therapist was like, "Well, you have some anger management issues."
Uh-oh.
So let's try to get back to where that all came from. So I started writing the book and it became therapeutic. And plus my girlfriends, they were like, "You've been through so much. You should really write a book because your stories are just so unbelievable." And that's what I did.
Now, the thing that I don't understand when we talk about, we'll get into your book. You said 11 years. Why 11 years?
Well, sometimes we stick around hoping people will change. And I was like 22 when he and I first started talking. So, we got into our 30s, things hadn't changed, so it was time to go.
Okay. All right, so when you said that Two Wrongs Don't Make It Right inspired this book, tell me, what gave you what was your motivation behind it? The anger or the love?
It was a little bit of both, but the title itself came from just being in relationships with men who were cheaters, abusers, liars, just like to take advantage of people, and I like to even the score. Like,
right?
You're not going to walk away from the relationship without feeling the hurt that I was feeling at the time.
Right. And I definitely understand. The thing that I don't understand is when someone, whether it is a guy or whether it is, a woman, if they're doing wrong, how can you expect not to hurt someone?
Right.
And how can you expect them not to want to get revenge? It's like you're just supposed to walk away from it. And so was it hard having the book published?
I think networking with the right people helped me a lot. I first had a mentor that I met previously before I even started writing the book. We happened to meet at a Super Bowl party, and she's like, "I'm an author." And I was like, "Oh, I got to get her number." So when I started writing the book, she was a big help, and she pointed me in the direction of the editor, and the editor pointed me in the direction of the publisher. So it just all connected.
Okay, so it wasn't like self-publishing. You received a deal from someone that you met online.
No, it was self-published.
It was self-published.
Yes, but it's through a publishing company. They do all the work in terms of the printout, the interior design, the book cover, the ISBN number, and all of that goes along with it. But in terms of promoting the book, I do it all myself.
Okay, so you don't know who the guy is on the
I
photo?
don't. And no, that's not me before you even ask.
No, I was gonna. I
Because
was.
everyone goes, "Is that you on the cover?" I'm like, "No, that's not me."
Okay. All right. So tell me about that book club event because I saw you on Facebook. How did that go?
Well, they found me on Facebook too. I was actually on a radio show and I mentioned the book and they looked me up on Facebook and they asked me to come be a part of their book club for their book of the month. And they're called the Champagne Divas. And they had a champagne brunch. And we just talked about the book and they really enjoyed it. It was relatable. A lot of women could relate to it because we've all been in some type of bad relationship at one point in time in our lives. So it was relatable and they really enjoyed it.
Well, okay. So what do you want your readers to understand about your book? What do you want them to, what are you trying to get across to your viewers or your readers?
Well, most importantly, I think it's a book for men and women, despite the cover. It is a book for both genders. And I'm just hoping that we can learn how to conduct ourselves when we're in relationships, because I think that's a big part of why I did some of the things that I was doing, because the men didn't know how to conduct themselves. So therefore, I need to conduct myself in a unladylike way as well.
Okay, now hide your kids, hide your wife. Should I be scared up here? No. So can you tell me a few things when you said conduct yourself? Because I kind of understand, because I kind of feel you. I feel like we're like kindred spirits in a sense. What do you mean by conduct yourself?
Well, I think it's just best to be honest with people when you're in a relationship, and you just don't have to lie. I think the biggest part of being in a relationship is the honesty part. And I think sometimes when we're in relationships and you get to the point where maybe you're no longer interested in that person, and instead of letting them know, hey, it's been fun, but I met someone else and, maybe we can be friends. I don't know if we could be friends,
Right.
but you can suggest it. But I think it's a big part of just being honest. That's all.
Right. Now I know we can't read, men's minds. What, from your personal experience of being in an 11-year relationship, why do you think it's so hard for, men to tell the truth? From your personal, from your point of view.
Well, I think with that situation, they wanted to be in a relationship with myself and with other people as well. And if they came to me and told me that they wanted to be in a relationship with me and someone else, it just wasn't going to work.
Right. And I'm so glad that we're doing this show, because I definitely want people to understand how not being upfront and how, dating one person and dating another person at the time and not being honest and upfront about it can really do damage.
Right.
It does a lot of damage to someone's emotions. So, do you have any other favorite authors that may probably have inspired you into getting into writing?
Well, Terry McMillan is my favorite author.
No. Well, why is Terry McMillan?
Well, her stories, when you read them, they just come to life. It plays out like a movie in your head while you're reading it. And she's an inspiration because a lot of her books did become films, and that's what I'm hoping for this book as well.
Okay, so what are you doing to try to turn your book into a film? Are you meeting with directors?
Not at all. Right now, my focus is promoting the book. I'll be going to different places in a couple of months to do that, different states besides California. So I'm excited about that, and I'm just trying to get it on the map.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the guy that is in this book, does he know that you wrote a book about him?
No.
No, he doesn't.
No.
Oh, okay. Are you in contact with him still?
No. And there's not just him. There's other characters in the book. It's 15 chapters total, and each chapter is about a new relationship.
Okay, so it's different relationships that you've experienced, kind of like the same thing but different situation?
Right.
Oh, okay, so is it safe to say, do you think from your personal experience that all men cheat, for the record?
I won't say all men cheat. They have the tendency to cheat. Everyone has a tendency to cheat, even women. But I think men more so are not forthcoming about it. So